Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for attending today's webinar. Supercharge your website conversions. Well-designed, user-friendly, online forms are the answer.
Sorry about that, guys. We're working from home. We have dogs barking at times they shouldn't be barking.
Yeah. Go ahead and jump to the next one, Bryce.
There we go. Yep. Hey, guys, I'll kick us off with introductions on my end. Bryce here. I'm the Partner Growth Manager at Formstack. We are a digital forms platform. I manage the relationships with our consulting partners, like our awesome partners here at LKCS. And Jake, I'll let you introduce yourself as well.
Hi, I'm Jake Dudek. I'm a sales rep here at LKCS. And if you don't already know who we are, we're a full-service printing, marketing, and mailing company that for the last 60 years has specialized in the needs of financial institutions. So I guess I'll go ahead and get started then. And you are what your site offers. So since the start of the pandemic last year, there have been many changes in the way that we conduct business. So now more than ever, your clearest channel to new members and lead conversions is your website. Whether or not your lobbies are still closed, new members are much more likely to find you online than to learn about your services coming into your brick and mortar location. Fortunately, your site is live 24/7 and works tirelessly to try and answer the needs of its visitors. Therefore, if potential members are learning about your services on your site, they need to be able to use those same services from your site. And if they can't, they're going to find somewhere that they can. So giving visitors a way to securely and quickly send information is critical to continued growth and conversions. But how do you do it? Online forms. So now I've got a quick question for everybody to answer that I'm going to pull up. And it'll basically just help us gauge the crowd and give us an idea if there's anything we need to emphasize. Moving on. So I'll give everybody just about a minute or so to put that in, and then we'll move on. Okay, it looks like just about everybody's got an answer in, so I'll go ahead and close it. And we'll move on. Okay, so less is more. As you can see here, 37% of people will abandon a form asking for their phone number unless the field's optional, which nearly doubles completions. Most people don't want to give up more information than what they need to, especially something like their phone number, with all the spam calls and texts that are getting sent around today. So you should really only require the user to input the information that you absolutely need. Though it is still a good idea to include optional fields for other potentially valuable information if the user is willing to enter it. Decrease the number of form fields when possible. A good strategy is to combine form fields. For example, ask for the user's full name instead of asking for their first name, last name, middle initial, and suffix. Right there, you've already gotten rid of 4 and turned it into 1. So, and if you want to make sure that the users enter their name correctly too in that full name field, clearly display hints to help guide the user so they can quickly and smoothly get through the process. Clearly mark the required and the unrequired fields. I don't know about any of you, but I always get pretty frustrated when I'm filling out a form online. I think I've got everything all filled in. I hit enter and boom, it errors out and said that I missed the required field. So I look back and then at the bottom of the form or something, there's a a phone number or something that I missed. And if it's not something I absolutely need, I might just get frustrated and say to heck with it and forget about it. So you got to make sure the users know exactly what they need to enter and make sure that those form fields are clearly displayed. So now I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Bryce, who's going to give you some visual examples to sort of help you see what I was explaining.
Thanks, Jacob. As he mentioned, so we're going to show you guys a few examples. We're going to do this throughout the webinar just to give you a visual kind of representation of good examples of forms. Here we have the website of IAA Credit Union. They have some awesome looking forms that we're going to be able to showcase here. So you get to see live customer examples, not just mock-ups. So take a look at this form. This is a contact us form on their website, a common kind of lead gen type form that allows you to capture data and then convert those as leads and follow up. So what we're seeing here is a very simple form, as Jacob said, just capturing that basic information, the most useful information for capturing the individual's name, phone number, email, that essential contact information. You can see here the names first. We want to make sure we capture that first, the contact, phone number, and the email. Those are the most important kind of pieces of information that we want to collect about an individual, which is why they're going to be closer to the top of the form. As Jacob mentioned, if someone goes down the form, they're going to get what we call form fatigue. It's a real thing, and they're going to be more likely to drop off. So we want to capture that most important information there at the top. And you can see we've clearly marked exactly which fields in the form are going to be the required fields, so they know which fields that they have to fill in to be able to submit, and just capture that information. I do have another example too that I wanted to showcase as well. It's the Claim Your Pig form with First Farmers Bank and Trust. I love this form. It's an awesome form. Honestly, this is not an awesome idea, a great creative way to capture information. So essentially the idea is this is a promotion and there are pigs, imagine, like a piggy bank. There are pigs that are scattered about and they're using this as a way to kind of capture information and follow up on those via form on their website. So if you capture the pig, you're able to be entered in to win a $500 gift. And this is a form they've placed on their website to kind of capture that information and then provide the information for the pig and then submit that so that they could follow up to be entered in to win the contest. So very simple, going back to those principles of an easy, simple form where you're capturing that information like first name, last name. You're going to enter that pig information in, enter that email as well. And as you see, these fields are going to be able to kind of populate information for the end user. So they are very easy to use across each of these forms, and then capturing that phone number as well. Really cool thing about Formstack and LKCS or solutions is you're actually able to build a custom redirect once the form is submitted. So let's say you're bringing someone via this form to your website for the first time. You're going to be able to redirect them to wherever you want to on your site once they submit, which is a really cool feature because in this case, they're going to come here, they're going to enter in their information. You can redirect them to more information on your site or redirect them to a membership application to add more value there for the customer. And that's what Jacob is going to talk about next, adding value. Hey, Jacob, you there?
Oh, sorry about that. Thanks for catching me, Bryce. So deliver value. It doesn't do you any good to have a beautiful website driving in traffic if you can't take action. So as you can see here, 8 in 10 people would rather conduct their financial business online than in person. So whether that's from the comfort of their home or maybe the convenience of their cell phone, it's really not hard to argue that a potential member will find out about you from your website and not from walking into your branch. So whether it be things like new membership application forms, account opening forms, change of address forms, or contact forms, give your users the ability to take action. If they want to open a checking account, let them. Treat your website as though it's another one of your branches with members and potential members coming in and out, expecting to do their financial business. So with that, I'll go ahead and hand it over to Bryce again and let him show you some more visuals.
Awesome, thanks, Jacob. So let's look at a couple of examples of what an actual form looks like that you could host on your website. You can digitize some of those paper processes to really make the best out of your website, right? Make sure that your users or your customers are going to your site to do business with you. Good example here is modifying an existing account. So if we scroll down on their page, we actually see a form here to change a name on our account. I'm going to click this form and open it up. There's a couple things I want to highlight here specifically about this form. You open up the form, you can see it's a little bit different kind of an experience than that original form. The Contact Us form. The Contact Us form was nested on their site. It was a short form that you were able to submit just by providing a few pieces of information. This is a membership application, so there's a lot of information that we need to connect. So it's a little bit more robust. As you can see here, we provide some notes to kind of guide people through the membership application process, just to give them an idea. Again, you know, as you said earlier, giving them an idea of kind of how they should approach the form and fill out the form. And as you can see, this is a paged form as well. And you'll see as I'm going down, I'm just going to make up some information here. I'm going to put in some kind of fake information. I can see which fields are required. I'm just going to throw my number on there. And then my email address. I did just pre-populate my real number, so I guess you can send me a text if you'd like. You can hit next. This is a paged form, so it is going to go to that next page. This is a much better experience to an end user, to a customer, than actually, you know, seeing this giant long form. You're going to get burnt out on that before you even get started, right? When you see how many fields you need to complete, this just provides a much better user experience. And with Formstack and LKCS, you do have the option to make your forms either paged if they're a long page like this, or that single page form if it's a shorter form and you're just collecting that really pertinent information. Another thing to kind of note here is that since we are collecting sensitive data, this form is completely secure. All of our forms are completely secure. So when you're collecting this information, you can know with confidence that you're collecting it securely. We use the latest version of reCAPTCHA, which is the latest in data protection security on the internet. So again, rest assured that you're collecting that data efficiently and securely. Another example of this is the donation and sponsorship request on IAA. If we take a look and we click on this form, same concept. We're going to capture that most relevant information for the end user. Is a paged form. This just gives you an example of another type of form and another process that you can digitize to add to your website. It doesn't just have to be your membership applications. There are a lot of digital processes that you can capture information from. And again, just kind of gives you an idea of what that looks like. Another important note about these forms is that they are each mobile friendly. So they're mobile responsive. So I'm going to turn it back over to Jacob. He's going to give us a few notes on why that's important as well. Jacob, come back over to you, man.
Yep. Next slide. Can you switch to the next slide?
Okay, sorry.
Thank you. Okay, mobile easy. Okay, so in the first quarter of 2021, globally, 54% of website traffic was on a mobile device. And I believe that as technology continues to improve and the bridge between the capabilities of your cell phone and that of your desktop continues to shrink, this number is only going to get bigger. Mobile friendly is no longer an option. Your forms must be able to correctly size down and look good on a phone. Hard to read and hard to fill out forms are sure to be abandoned. It has to be easy. People won't take the time to scroll and pinch on their phone to fill out your form. But they are going to take the time to find someone that has an easier form to fill out. So in the age of TikToks and 10-second attention spans, you must make it easy for the user. And with that, I'll hand it back over to Bryce and let him show you some, I guess, the responsiveness of Formstack in action.
Awesome. Thanks, Jacob. So we're going to quickly close out of these two other forms and let you guys see what this looks like, this mobile experience looks like with our forms. Also going to give you a little kind of insider tip if you don't know this. This is my kind of way of looking at the mobile version of a form. This is nothing to do with Formstack. This is just Google Chrome. So kind of an insider tip if you didn't know. If you right click, you click inspect. You can actually toggle on and off a device view in this browser console here on the right. It's the easiest way to view what your website looks like in mobile view. And it gives you a couple of other tools as well. So when you're designing your forms, when you're looking at your website to see if it's currently mobile responsive, again, this is a quick tool to use to be able to see what that looks like. LKCS and Formstack, our solutions, are the websites that they design, and the Formstack solutions are all going to be mobile responsive and mobile friendly. So that's just part of doing business with Formstack and LKCS. Another cool thing about this is you can actually toggle which phone you want it to kind of replicate, and you can also view it in landscape or portrait mode as well. So a nifty little trick. So for this form, this is again IAA, and this is their membership form. Going to be applying to become a member. I can scroll down just like I'm on a phone here and give you guys a view of what that would look like. As you can see, the website is completely responded to that mobile view. I'm going to click on Start a Membership to open up the form. And we have that awesome mobile-friendly form view completing the form, completely nested within their site to complete the form on a mobile device. As Jacob mentioned, most users these days are on their phones. Especially when they're accessing information for their bank, or when they're on the go and they want to check something really quick for let's say submitting a request, changing account information. They need to be able to do that on the go. Submitting that contact us form. The majority of contact us forms that are typically submitted on a mobile phone. So being able to capture that information and then again convert it on mobile is going to be incredibly important. Another example of this, I'll jump on over to the next form here. As you can see, this is again IIA, but this form is a little bit busy, or this site's a little bit busier. There's a lot more going on the site. There's some grids that you see here as well. So of course this can't be mobile friendly, but it is. So if we inspect, we're able to see that this is a mobile friendly site as well. And I'm going to scroll down to open up a new account. I can compare the options here between Platinum, Classic, and the dollars and cents checking, the different offers that they have as far as opening a new account, and get an idea of which one's going to be the right fit for me. And when I'm ready to make a selection and open that account, it's just a click away, and I have that mobile experience again, being able to just easily scroll down, fill out the information I need, and then submit that form all on a mobile phone. So with that, I will turn it back over to Jacob, who's going to walk us through next steps here.
All right, so online forms equals success. LKCS has partnered with Formstack to provide not only secure, code-free online forms that you can build yourself, but expertise and support that only 60 years of serving the needs of financial institutions can bring. Best of all, there's no extra cost associated with going through LKCS. So whether it be a membership form, contact form, or maybe an account opening form, let us help get your form off the ground and running. One of the benefits of purchasing through us includes access to pre-built form templates that you can customize to fit your needs. Or if you would like your own totally custom form, our awesome design team would be more than happy to help make something up for you. And you also have the ability to do it yourself. So if you're proficient in design and want to make your own from scratch with the peace of mind that your form is secure and that the data is effectively collected, you've come to the right place. Additionally, you have world-class service that's just an email or a quick phone call away. So if you ever have a problem, question, or need advice on a form, you can be assured that you have a support net ready to help you in any way possible. Okay. So as you can see, it's a perfect match. We've got awesome features, a user-friendly interface, secure form processing, and dozens of integrations. And with that, I'll hand it back over to Bryce, and I'll let him go through some of the more details and some of the back-end stuff, and yeah, give you an idea of Formstack.
Awesome. Thanks, Jacob. So one of the things that Jacob mentioned just now was the integrations piece, something we haven't really harped on a lot, but I want to definitely mention here. Formstack has over 250 different integrations. So integrating with other systems and solutions. If you need a form a form submission to go into a system of record, maybe somewhere where you're keeping your data, chances are we do integrate with that system. If you have questions about that, we can certainly follow up in the Q&A once we wrap up the presentation about who exactly we integrate with. We also integrate with document delivery solutions. So if your form is submitted and you need some type of process to happen on the back end of that, maybe a document gets sent out, a receipt to both the submission, or sorry, the originator of that form, so who submitted it, or maybe it needs to kind of be filed away in a document storage. That's an option as well. And then even capturing e-signatures. It's a big part of the process for capturing membership applications. You capture a signature. We do have legal compliant or e-signature compliant e-signature solutions as well. So there's a lot to kind of uncover there. If we could include it here, but it would be, we could have a whole separate webinar just on the integrations there. A few key features I wanted to highlight here just around Formstack Forms to keep top of mind as we're kind of going through the rest of the webinar are design and branding, the ability to develop and design your form to make it look just like your website and your branding. As you saw there with IAA and First Farmers Bank, both of those forms, or each of those forms, was developed and designed to match their CSS and their branding of their website. Also, drag and drop interface. As Jacob mentioned, you can certainly have his team develop and build and develop these forms for you. They have templates they've pre-designed specifically for your industry that can be used as well for those quick start type use cases. A good example of that being the contact us form. That's a template that they have on hand, and they can just basically plug into your website. But there's also the idea of a drag and drop form builder, right? So if I, as an end user, want to build and develop my own forms, I have a new process that I want to digitize myself, you can absolutely do that. The system is very easy to use from the back end and to deploy your forms on your website or to send them via email. Conditional logic. So if we have a form that as we're completing it, we need certain values that you select to affect kind of how the form, how you proceed through the form. 100% out of the box, we have that conditional logic engine that you can develop your own logic as you kind of go through and navigate the form. Another kind of important point there is you definitely want to kind of show just as little information as you can. So that's where that conditional logic comes into play. Taking a very long form with a lot of unnecessary values based on how someone completes it, and then making it much shorter and much more consumable and easier to fill out based on the values that someone's added to the form. Save and resume is an awesome feature for those longer forms as well. Let's say you have a form that just has to be a long form. There's a lot of information you have to capture. Again, like that membership application. We have the ability to add a feature for save and resume where someone can complete some of the form. There will be a button where they can choose to save it in its current state, where you're at with it to that point, and then they'll be sent a link to kind of come back and finish it later, which will pre-fill that information back on the form so they can submit it and complete it again at a later date. Accessible. Each of the Formstack forms are WCAG compliant, so they follow those accessibility standards. What that really means is for those users who are challenged in regards to visually challenged, we have a screen reader basically, they'll be using a screen reader, and our compliant with those screen readers as they go through and complete their forms. So that's a key feature to kind of note as well. And then the form importer. If you have a form that is existing, we can actually take that form, if it is a digital form, and read the HTML, read the backend code of that form, and import it into our system so you can get a faster start. You don't have to develop it. There are a few additional features that kind of note here that are bundled with LKCS. These are Forms superpower features, I like to say. These really take your forms and really upgrade them, take them to the next level. I'm going to give you a taste of what they look like on the back end here in a minute, but I'm going to kind of review each one. So we have the context. A/B testing. A/B testing is going to allow you to take your forms, build 2 versions, and make sure that you're making the most efficient, effective version of the form. You'll develop your version A, deploy that, and then build your version B. The Formstack system will automatically visualize or present forms to the end user on a 50-50 basis. You don't have to worry about making sure that each version of the form is being used or submitted. The system does that for you, and then it reports on the back end of each of those submissions and which ones are capturing information and which ones are you're seeing form drop off on, so you can tweak the development and the design of those forms. Partial submissions is exactly what I was just speaking to there. Capturing that, having that form capture information, even if they drop off. So let's say I get down to or users are getting down to a field, or let's say a form bottleneck is what we call a field on the form where it's causing issues, it's causing bottlenecks, and no one's submitting there. You see this typically, as Jacob said earlier, with like a phone number field, even email. This is going to help you identify what that field is and also allow you to capture the data that kind of came before that bottleneck as well. So you can still capture that data from that drop off. Field bottlenecks, I just mentioned that. So we would do reports on the back end, so you can see where people are dropping off your forms, be it, again, that phone number field, and then you can tweak and design your form based on those insights. And then social autofill, analytics, and UTM tracking. Those 2 features, I like to mention them hand in hand. Social autofill is really what you saw just a moment ago, capturing information from pre-filled forms, populating it into fields intelligently. And then, for example, in this case, you can social autofill from Facebook, taking that information from your signed in Facebook profile and populating it onto a longer form like that application. Just makes it a lot easier for the user to submit. Analytics and UTM tracking. I'm going to show you guys a good example of this in a moment. Being able to visualize that data that you're capturing on these forms so that you can make more intelligent decisions about how you're using the forms, and your users your customers who are submitting that data, being able to put that data to use. UTM tracking. If you're running a marketing campaign and you have a UTM tracking URL that you would like to kind of add to your form, we completely support that as well. So you can see the analytics behind your UTM tracking links as well. It's completely supported. And then routing workflow, the ability to have a form that's submitted, it goes into the back end of Formstack, and then follow that through a workflow. Maybe it needs to go in someone's inbox for approval and review before that form process is completed. That's all included in the LKCS bundle as well. So to quickly show you what that looks like, actually I went the wrong way on that one. This is the back end of Formstack. And I have a form here where I've captured some dummy data and just some information. I didn't want to surface any back-end information. So this is, again, it's a demo form. We had a good glimpse of what this form's performance has been. That conversion rate is amazing. Everyone would love to have a 325% conversion rate. So I'll go ahead and mention that right off the bat. That's just from this being a demo form. As you can see, I can select a date range to kind of visualize this data. So I've selected, the past year to see how this form has performed on my website. A couple things to kind of call out here as well. The field bottlenecks there, this is where you're going to see which form or which field on the form are people dropping off at. This is incredibly useful information. For this form, it's the date of birth. That field may be lower on the form. I may have to tweak the design around that just to make sure that, or maybe it's not relevant. Maybe it's just unnecessary information. There's no reason why I should be asking someone for their date of birth. That could absolutely be the case here. So I'll remove that and just capture that important information to optimize my conversions. Email, again, that is a field that is pretty common for you to see a drop-off rate. Only 10% on this form is on that email. So I feel like that's pretty decent performance, but maybe there's still some tweaks that I can see making as well. That's the importance of A/B testing now. Is having 2 versions of a form deployed. Logged out. Sorry about that. We log back in. Play the elevator music. All right, I'm back in. Sorry about that. So in this form, I have version B. I can pull another custom report, and I can see the difference in how this form has performed in comparison to version A. Very, very different. Version B was capturing a lot more information. We had name, address, billing address, cell phone, work phone. It goes on and on. It was a much longer form. And you can see here how different that data is in regards to what's being captured there and where those individuals are dropping off. Really quick glance at analytics as well. I'm able to look at the submission dashboard, see the back end of the forms, and see which forms have been submitted. I can do an export of my submissions. I can also see which forms have been abandoned and actually look at each individual form abandoned form to see which data was captured. So in this case, I'm going to click on the submission from Zach Pines. I can see it got all the way down to, would you like to add a family member? And then they dropped off. So I can see that submission data. And then finally, the charts, being able to visualize that data that we're capturing and really, again, put that data to use. There were a lot of different fields in this form on version B. I could see, the majority of people submitting this form were male, with slightly less number being female submitting the form. There's a lot of ways that you can put this information to use and, again, visualize it on the back end of the system here. So with that, we'll go through key takeaways. A couple things just to keep top of mind here based on today's session. You are what your website offers, right? Your website is your most dedicated employee. It's online, working for you 24/7. Make sure you're putting that to use. Make sure you're putting it. You have value there for your customers to go and use your website. Use that website as your employee. Less is more. So going back to the idea of only adding the most essential information or requesting most essential information on your forms. Make sure that you're not asking for too much information. You're going to see drop-offs, the more drop-offs you have, the more fields you have on your form, the more drop-offs you're going to see. Next, deliver value. Your customers want to conduct business on your website. This really goes hand in hand with number 1, adding value to your customers so that they know where to go to use your website and access what they need to be able to do business with you as your business. And then mobile easy. Meet your customers where they are. Build these websites to be mobile friendly and the forms to be mobile friendly. Again, LKCS and Formstack. These solutions are mobile responsive out of the box. All key important factors when it comes to optimizing your forms for capturing for converting on leads captured on your website. Actually, before we go,
we have one other quick poll question to ask everybody real quick. I'll go ahead and get that launched. And So yeah, what are your preferred next steps? Is there anything we can help you with next? And yeah, we're happy to hear what you got to say.
How are we looking on submissions, Jake?
So I've got about half the people put something in. I'll give it another 15 seconds and I'll go ahead and close it.
Okay. Yeah, and before we close out, guys, we're gonna have a Q&A session as well, so make sure you stick around for that.
Yeah, so any questions or anything, we'll stay on the line and yeah, be here to help.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Awesome. So I'll just keep it on this slide. I think that makes sense, just to keep all these points top of mind.
Yep.
Any questions? We're monitoring the chat as well. And Jacob, I don't think I can actually see the chat. Do we have anything coming through?
Not seeing anything.
Okay.
So yeah, anybody that, if you've seen what you wanted to see and don't have any questions or anything, feel free to leave. Thanks for your time today, and we're happy we could present to you.
Yeah, thanks for your time, guys. We'll stay on. I'll stay on until the top of the hour, or until everyone kind of jumps off. But appreciate you guys joining. Maybe I should show this actually, because it has our contact information there. So do want to let you guys know, for those who are still on, if you want to contact us, this is the best information to get in touch with us here, and we'd be happy to assist with any questions you have. If you'd like to, as the poll question said there, if you'd like to schedule a demo, we'd be happy to schedule a demo with you guys. Really give you a live view of what forms look like with Formstack and LKCS. If you have questions about any of the other solutions that LKCS offers, definitely reach out to Jake and myself. We'd be happy to have that conversation with you guys. And then, yeah, again, thanks so much for your time. Thanks for joining us.